Hi guys! Welcome to the third and final video of this book study of More Tools for Teaching Content Literacy by Jeanette Allen. So we're going to start this one off with a little strategy called FLIP, another acronym which I think is super cool. So FLIP is a previewing the text or topic tool. This would be used before learning. Super awesome. I'm a big fan of acronyms. So the F stands for flip through the text. L stands for look at visuals. I is information that can be gained. P is predict. And then also for like personal purpose. So this one is super cool. She used it as a way to take a picture walk and then have the students base their responses through the pictures, which I thought was different. I would definitely have them like read for the first time and then kind of use the instructions to go through it that way. So that this is definitely one that I see myself using in my future classroom, just because it's an easy, self-explaining like graphic organizer and tool. So as I flip through the book, we have a PQ4R. I'm guessing most of us are familiar with SQ3R, which is survey, question, read, recite, and review. This one is a little bit different, a little bit more in depth, so I really like this one. It's a comprehension and study strategy that can be given to all students, I would say like third and up, across any curriculum, any subject, which is pretty cool. So the P stands for preview, so previewing the text, and then question, and then read, reflect, recite, and review. So they have kind of like a reflecting on the questions from earlier part, which I think is a great add to this graphic organizer. And the way she has it is she had the students do it for a science lesson, which is pretty cool, where they looked at the solar system and then did it that way. So like a source on the solar system, so that's pretty cool. This one can be used all grade levels, and I'm a huge fan of anything that can be used across the curriculum. So as I flip through, our next one is getting the most from visual information. This is a cool, different type of graphic organizer, I think, because it uses just the visuals. It doesn't really take a look into the words. So throughout this, it's a graphic organizer that breaks down the thinking from pictures. So her graphic organizer, she has them list where all pictures are, and then she has them list their first impression, facts they got from the picture, and then illustration, like what it made them wonder. So this is what I'm super, like this one is super cool, because like you never really see something that has students analyze in depth the illustrations or pictures from a text. So for this one, I might have my students flip through the textbook, especially like a history textbook or a science textbook that has a bunch of pictures, and just have them look at that before we do any type of content. And I wouldn't stress that they have to fill out their first impression or facts from the picture if I make that all pre-reading. And this is something that can be cool for like before, during, and after if you add something to it. And at the end, she has how do visual pictures help you get ready to read. So I think that makes them think about the impact that the pictures actually have on the text, which is also really cool. The next one was different for writing. It's writing to learn. So this is where students actively think about content and make connections, develop questions, and add their understandings to writing. So the way Jeanette Allen did it was she provided a trigger or link for writing, and then had the students answer 3 basic questions, or made sure that her link could reflect these 3 basic questions. How can they connect to this information? What do I really want them to learn, think about, or consider? And then what are the big ideas? So when she's constructing her statements or her triggers, those are the 3 things that she always thinks about. So students kind of have free reign with their writing, and it gets them to think about their content and express it in a different way. So the students are able to write to learn instead of read to learn, which I think is super cool. That one's a neat one. Actually, flip through. The next one is learning through text features. So text features, I immediately thought of illustrations. That is not what text features are. Text features include heading, bold types, italics, charts, graphics, titles, subtitles, headings, index, glossary, etc. So that like blew my mind for some reason. I don't know why I went straight to pictures again. I guess because that's what they were talking about before. But this one is super cool because it has them actually outline their reading and understand the purpose of the text features, which in a like standard textbook, that is super important because students have to understand what they're reading, like understanding if you're doing the solar system and they have subheading, like the solar system is the heading of the subheading of the different planets, and then inside of that would be titles. For like Earth would be ecosystems, continents, and stuff like that. So that's a good way to help students understand and even create their own study guides. So this little outline here could be used as like a template for a study guide, which a lot of younger students don't really know how to study. So I really, really like this one because it helps them break down their learning a little bit. The next one is a reasoning guide. I was a little confused. I had to reread this one a little bit, maybe like 3 times to understand it. This helps students broaden their thinking about particular content. So they're able to reason with the content and think more comprehensively and critically about the content. So the teacher, which would be me, would use declarative statements and then have the students before reading or before instruction pick true or false, and then have the statement or fact or opinion, and then have the statement, and then put their reasoning, and then after instruction or reading they're able to pick whether it was fact, opinion, or neither. So this is another strategy which is super cool, and it gives you an outline for it, and I really, really like that one. So there's writing frames for our next one. This one is cool. I thought it was just a closed experience while reading. So they just fill in the blank while they're reading to make sure they're engaged. But that's not it at all. So this can be used for science. It can be used for a response, summarizing, and anything. So it is a closed experience, like C-L-O-Z-E, not C-L-O-S-E. It is fill in the blank, but it guides students to successfully complete writing. So it's not a reading tool, it's a writing tool. So this one was a response frame. So it starts with I chose to read, then pick the title of the book, which was written by author, because, and then they have to explain. And then just kind of goes through the different areas of reading. And then this one is a lab report. So it goes through all the different parts that go into a lab report. So I thought this one was cool because it incorporates writing across the curriculum. So they use it in science, it can be used in social studies, and then reading. So I figured that's awesome. It can probably even be used for health or like social issues. I reacted this way to this situation because it made me feel this way. So this one is actually really cool. So I definitely put a star next to the writing frames because I will be incorporating this one. The next one we are all familiar with. It has a different name, but I actually use this in my student teaching experience. It's called Expert Groups, which as I was reading this, I was like, I've done this. I can't think of the name. And then I ended up having to look it up, and it's called Jigsaw. So the students choose to become experts at a particular thing related to the topic. And this list is provided by the teachers. And then the students make presentations and kind of teach the information to their fellow classmates to help them understand the content. This can be tricky because you have to make sure the students hit certain key points when teaching them, because sometimes the students that are being taught don't really understand the information or comprehend it as well as if a teacher were teaching it or if they were doing it themselves. So that one is pretty cool. I really like that one, but I really recommend creating a template to make sure students hit certain key parts of their topic, just from my personal experience. So that is the last one. So we covered today Flip, PQ, R3, getting the most from visual information, writing to learn, learning through text features, reasoning guide, writing frames, expert groups, and now we're going to look at the appendix, which happened to be my favorite part. And I know that's a little ridiculous, but this one gives me all the printouts for, well, not every single one, but 20 of the 26 strategies covered. So I have all of them, and I get to look at what she used, and then I can probably tweak them in my own way on like a Word document. But these gives me printouts. I can make copies of everything. So I'm pretty stoked about this one. This one actually has two, which is cool. This is so awesome. I'm so excited. I didn't expect to get this from this book because, like, you thought your normal appendix is kind of just like listing things, but this just gives me a bunch of different graphic organizers that I can add to my teacher tip notebook. And then, as you can see, it is just like a flip book, which is pretty cool. It made it really easy to read. Okay, so thank you for watching my videos on more tools for teaching content literacy by Jeanette Allen. It was awesome. I got so much out of this, and I hope you guys did too. Thanks for watching. Bye.